Namaskar. Many people wonder and also ask themselves, why do bad things keep happening to me? Sometimes you may feel, no matter how good I am, no matter the number of right things I do, undesirable things keep happening to me. In our life, it keeps repeating itself. Why is this the case? There are some questions for which there seems to be no answer. However, Indian philosophers have spent great amount of time and effort to address this question. According to Indian spiritual system, you are responsible for all you go through in your life. Your past karmas define your life experiences. There is a sutra in Yoga Sutra philosophy which says, Satu bule tad vipako jati ayur bhogaha, which means that your life experiences are predetermined. If something terrible is happening to you, we must embrace the fact that we may have harmed someone in this or previous life. Our own karmas continue to follow us. So here is a story of Bhishma Pitamaha in Mahabharata, that after fighting with Pandavas, Bhishma fell down after getting the arrows of Apr-Jun in his body. Arjun's arrows pierced through and through his body, and Bhishma Pitamaha finally fell down. And he was lying down on the bed of arrows. And then he took a decision that now, since good people are there, people who are following the path of Dharma, that is Pandavas are there, and Krishna also is there with them, Dharma is going to win naturally, and Adharmis are going to finish. And so now my job is over on this earth, so I want to leave my body after 7 days. My job is finished. So this decision he gave to everybody. Everyone came to know that Bhishma Pitamaha is now going to leave his mortal body. Pandavas came rushing to him to meet him. Pandavas loved him, and they told him that you have lived such a long life. You have so much of experience with you. Please guide us how we should live. And Bhishma did say that every human should take care of his body, because it is only through body you will be doing your dharma. And every human should be valuing his time, because we are all bound under time pressure, only 24 hours in a day. So we should respect time. We should live life as if we are living under emergency. After this, Bhishma wanted to ask question to Krishna. He asked Krishna that, please tell me, why should I be dying in such a condition when my whole body is pierced through and through with arrows? I don't think so. I have done any such karma to have such a effect on my system, such a suffering on my body. I have not done any action. Krishna said, you are wise. You know the law of karma, which says that whatever you put, you are going to get. As you sow, so shall you reap. You must have done something in your past. That's why you are having such an effect on your body. Bhishma denied. He said, no, Krishna. I am very, very careful. Since I know the law of karma, I am very careful in doing all my actions in such a way that I don't have to face such a consequences. I will not agree. Krishna said, you have to understand and you have to agree. This law is very, very universal and very scientific, very natural. Bhishma said, no. Bhishma said, I am a man of principle. I am always alert. Whenever I do my action, that action is done under the influence of kleshas, then I would not do the action. So I have not done any of these actions, so I don't accept your theory. Krishna started showing him the previous lives backwards, and they went up to 16th life backwards. And there Krishna stopped the film. He saw one incident there. The incident was like this, that Bhishma was traveling in his horse carriage from one village to another village, and in between there was a jungle. The carriage was moving slowly, and suddenly Bhishma spotted one snake which was lying down across the path. Now here Bhishma stopped his carriage because if he moves further, he would kill the snake, which he should never do, and so he stopped his carriage. He moved the earth little bit here and there to make snake understand that he should move from this place. But snake didn't budge. Snake was lying there itself. Bhishma could see that snake was alive, but snake was not moving. Bhishma climbed down from his carriage, went to snake, caught the snake from his mouth and saw that his body was taken by his another hand. He threw the snake very carefully on the bushes. There were small bushes over there, so that snake doesn't get hurt if he throws snakes on the ground. So he was careful. He did that. Well, after this, he climbed back on his carriage and took his carriage away. But here, he didn't realize at all that the area where the snake fell, those bushes were bushes of thorns. They were covered by green leaves, so from up you can't make out that thorns are there. And snake's body fell on those bushes, and the thorns started pricking snake's body, and slowly the snake got thorns into his body, and finally snake died after 7 days. Now this whole incident was narrated, and Bhishma was very clear that what happened that time. Now his body also is pierced through and through Arjun's arrows. Now this story tells us one point very clearly, that whatever is happening in our life at this moment, it just doesn't happen on its own. Some action you have done in your past, and so you are facing the consequences in this birth. So understand one thing very clearly, that we have no control over what happens in our life. Once you have shot the arrow, you have no control over the outcome. All you have to do now is to face the outcome and accept it. Do not lose hope because of undesirable situations in your life. Nature has its own way of uplifting us. Just trust that everything will work out for your physical and mental well-being. The laws of the universe are in place to sustain you, not to destroy you. The universe is like our mother. Even if it punishes us for our action, it ultimately tries to make you more stronger. So understand, start doing the right thing from today. If you start focusing on the now, you can gradually attract the best in your life. Be content and attract happiness. Be friendly to people. Be compassionate. Accept and adjust with people. The more comfort and happiness you bring to others, the more happiness and fortune will come in your life. Simply make sure every day that you are bringing more smile than worries in others' life. Bad faces are just temporary. Learn to accept them and approach them with a learning attitude. Just be alert and aware that whenever you are doing any action, are you doing any action under the influence of desire, under the influence of anger, hatred, frustration, and so on? If you have any of these negative emotions within you, then don't do any actions. First, settle down your emotions. First, come to a normal, balanced state, and then do your action. Those actions will always have a positive effect. Any bad phase, take it as a situation and not as bad. Any situation, you do your part in that situation. Always take every situation like a learning attitude. Do the right thing today, because today, this moment is in your hand. So if you do the right thing right now, your tomorrow has to be better. So life would be beautiful if you learn to live in present, in now, with a balanced state, and do your actions, your dharma, your responsibility well. Do that and be happy in life. Namaskar.